Hi there, this is Stella Chadwick. I'm the founder of Brainstorm Health and the head of the Brainstorm Health Clinic. I've put together this short video because I am hoping to give you a real flavor of what it is that we do here at Brainstorm Health. Tell you a little bit about the team. I'm going to talk a little bit about the 5-step program, which is a unique Brainstorm Health program that we implement with many of the children and young adults we work with. And then I'm going to tell you a little bit about the testing side of things and how to make an appointment and where we work from, etc. So hopefully this is going to answer a lot of your questions, which you've all very kindly put to me, or that this is a video for you because you've shown interest in working with Brainstorm Health, which we're very grateful for, and we look forward to working with you. So to start off, the Brainstorm Health Clinic is a clinic dedicated to children with autism, children with PANS or PANDAS, children with neurological difficulties, learning difficulties, ADHD, anxiety, depression. So the whole host of symptoms come through our door. Some have a form of diagnosis and some don't. And our clinic is set up so that we can offer functional medicine, which is at the heart and soul of everything we do, nutritional therapy, and conventional medicine, which we felt was a really important part of the picture for the children we work with, because sometimes the underlying issues are extremely complicated, and it's exceptionally helpful to have a consultant on board to be able to help navigate through things. So a little bit about the team. I'm the head of the clinic. I see patients, but it is quite difficult to get appointments with me, but I still have some openings. But I've also cultivated a fantastic team of Brainstorm Health practitioners who are not only all majorly qualified in that they have degrees in nutritional medicine and also or above, but they are functional medicine practitioners, and they've spent 12 months training with me in our Brainstorm Health program. I also mentor all the practitioners, and every patient that goes through our clinic has major input from myself as well as the practitioner that you see. We then have the medical side of things, which is headed by Dr. Ben Marlow. He's a consultant pediatrician. He works for the NHS, but he also does private work with Brainstorm Health with our patients. He's a fantastic, cutting-edge medical doctor who has a special interest in neurodisability, in autism, in PANS and PANDAS, and he has been an exceptionally helpful member of our team, and he joined us in April of last year. Then we have a support team made up of 3 support staff, and that's Emma, Helen, and Jill, and you will hear from all 3 of them throughout your time with us. So they're the ones who take care of you, make sure your tests are ordered properly, your appointment is on time, you've got your questionnaire. So all the admin side of things is very much taken care of by that team. So then we go to our program. So our program is a 5-step, very unique 5-step Brainstorm Health program. And at its heart is functional medicine. And by that I mean that we look for the root cause of things. For example, if a child comes to us with anxiety, the underlying reason can be a multitude of things. It can be because they have high histamine level, or it can be because they have a strep infection that's gone rogue, or it could be they have a herpes group of viral infection, or they have high yeast load, or many other different things that can be the core reason as to why the anxiety is there. So it's not enough for us to just look at anxiety on its own as a symptom. It's the absolute heart of what we do, is to try and figure out the root cause of everything that's going on with your child. So the five-step program was really designed around the functional medicine model in order to be able to do that. The most important part of our program to start with is a step called reopen. This is a step that's missed by many practitioners, and it's so crucial, and we find it especially with the children we work with. It's a game changer in that without doing this step, so little can end up not working, which is such a shame. So the step is to reopen. We make sure that the lymphatics are moving properly, that the kidney's supported, the liver's supported, the colon is emptying properly, and all of that has to be in place before we start adding a lot of supplements or doing a lot of detoxes and things like that, because the body has to be able to get rid of things. It has to be able to utilize things. So we focus on that for maybe minimum of 2 weeks, and sometimes a lot longer than that, depending on what's going on with the child. And then once we've established that, we go to the next step, which is the removal phase. And the removal phase is very crucial. It removes things like yeast and bacteria and viruses and unwanted parasites and all the things that could be contributing to a body that's gone out of balance. We identify what they are through testing. It could be that we do it through a stool test, looking at the GI and gastrointestinal issues. It could be through an organic acid test, where we look at many different aspects in terms of their metabolic state, and I will talk a little bit more about that in a minute. And so we look at that phase and we look to see what we need to remove, and we do it in a very systematic way. So you can see that when we're removing things, we've already reopened the pathway, so that sort of Herxheimer die-off reaction can be reduced significantly as a result of doing that first step. Once we've done the removal, we go to the next step, which is called replace. And the replace is where we put nutrients back in, and we put things like digestive enzymes and support the hydrochloric acid in the stomach. And this is the time to put things in, because if you start putting things in right from the beginning, the body either can't process it or it makes byproducts that the body doesn't like. So not only could you not be making any progress, you can cause problems for the child. So the fourth step, once we've done that, is the re-inoculation phase. And that is when we look at probiotics, prebiotics, we look at resistant starch, we look at foods and supplements, etc. Now, it might be that we don't use any probiotics because it's not appropriate for your child, or it might be that we use a certain strain of probiotic because, as an example, your child has high histamine level or is kind of sensitive to histamines. So we make sure that we use strains that don't raise histamine levels. For example, Lactobacillus bulgaricus is known to raise histamine levels, and it's a very common one that's used in lots and lots of sort of multi-probiotics. Or if we felt that your child was quite sensitive to the streptococcal infection, which is where all the PANS and PANDAS kids can suffer, as well as many other underlying infections like viral issues, etc. But that is a particular trigger for some. Then we don't use supplements that have Streptococcus thermophilus in it, for example. But it's a lot more than that. But that is basically how our mind works. We're very aware of not just having one size fits all approach to anything, even when it comes to probiotics. And then we look at prebiotics as well. We would try and enhance that through foods as well, if appropriate. And once we've done that, we go to the final phase, which is called the repair phase. And this is where we do all the sort of healing and sealing the gut. We would have done a lot of work on the gut by then, but we really go for it with the repair type of products that we can use, and colostrum and things like amino acids and essential fatty acids and all sorts of things like that. They're different ones for different children. And so that's a little bit about the program that we do. The program takes somewhere between sort of 6 to 12 months. So it's a real commitment coming to Brainstorm Health. It is a real partnership between us and you. And we want more than anything for you to succeed. So we will give you as many tools as you need in order for you to be able to do that. And so we now come to where you can see us. You can see us in London. We have offices at number 10 Harley Street. We have offices at 9 Weymouth Street. We also have an office in Bath. I don't practice from there, but the other practitioners do. And we also do a large majority of our appointments via Skype. And Zoom is just the way it is nowadays, where it's so convenient. We work with many international patients or patients who live just too far away, or it's just too difficult to come to us. So we do that. We offer both in-person appointments and remote appointments. And you would get a link with your email. If you've contacted us directly, then you would receive a link that allows you to book your appointment and manage your appointment online. And then my team will take over and they will get you started on your questionnaire and ask you to send us whatever that it is that we need. Everything that we ask you for is really there for us to be able to help you. So the more information we have, the better it is. And we go through everything before we meet with you. So we would have read all the questionnaire, any test results you have done in the past. We'll take a look at them and have a really good idea of what is going on with your child before we've even had our consultation. In terms of the number of consultations you'll need, between 6 and 12 months, you're looking at somewhere along the lines of 4 to 8 appointments. So that you can look at how to budget for this. That's including your first appointment with us. So once you've had your first appointment, we then potentially order some tests for you. We don't always do the testing. It really depends on the age of the child, if we can get the samples that we need from that child. We use urine tests, saliva tests, stool tests, blood tests, all sorts of things. And we try and find a way around it. If, for example, we can't get a urine test because your child is in nappies and it's very, very difficult to get a clean sample. We have still managed to get samples from children in nappies, but it's not that easy. Or that your child has needle phobia and we can't get any blood. So we have to find our way around it. And we've done, we've worked with more than 2,000 patients. So we've found ways around most things. And so when it comes to the testing, we would test for whatever is appropriate. There are hundreds of tests out there, but there are a group that we do very regularly for children. For example, using a DNA-based stool analysis test, which we use the only one that is absolutely the most thorough that we know, and the most accurate and has the most evidence base, and we use Genova for that. We also use organic acid testing, which is a urine sample. It's one of my favorite tests because it gives us so much information about the mitochondria, neurotransmitter imbalances, nutrient status, bacterial and yeast overgrowth. In fact, using organic acids is the most accurate way of assessing that. And then it looks at amino acids and oxidative stress. It just gives, we get a lot of bang for our buck. So we use that, and we also use tests for assessing toxic load and tests for assessing food intolerances and allergies, etc. So those are the core ones, but there are many others, and it really depends on what is going on with your child and what's going to help us help you. That's the only reason we do the tests, is what's going to help you. And what is it that we're unsure about and that we need evidence for, and that's how we try and find the evidence. A lot of the tests can be done at home, especially things like stool tests, for example, that needs to be done at home. A first morning urine sample is done at home. A hair test, for example, that's done at home, and the food sensitivity can be done as a finger prick test instead of a blood draw test. So that's also done at home. If we need to do bloods and you can't get yourself to a laboratory, then we work with a a mobile phlebotomy service that can come to you and do the bloods, and they have a centrifuge, and they can do everything, and we've worked with them for a long time, and they're absolutely excellent. So or there are occasionally we will ask your doctor to do some of the basic testing that we can get done on the NHS, like full blood count and ferritin and vitamin D and thyroid markers and things like that. Although they're available on the private side and we can do that as well, it's important that we try and kind of save our money where we can. And of course, that's all discussed with you. We would not approach your medical team without your permission. And so once you've had your first appointment and we've discussed tests, we organize the tests for you, you do them, we get the results, and then we regroup and we really hone in on what we need to do for your child. In the meantime, you would have probably had some things to do in order to support the reopen phase, which is something we always do to get the body ready. And we would have done some other things with you to help support the entire system. And if you've brought us some test results, we may interpret those and help get you started on a few things before we get our own tests back. And so that's pretty much it. Excuse me. So I hope that's answered a lot of your questions. I truly love what I do. My team loves what they do, and we are really here to help you get your child back to have optimum health. And if you have any further questions, do let me know. It is a little bit tricky to pin me down and have personal conversations with me, but I'm of course available for anything that is really outstanding for you. I would say please take a look at our website, because there's plenty of information there about what we do and who we are. Look at our testimonials, check out our Facebook. We have over 5,500 follows there. And we also join our newsletter. It's really important. We can't join you until you've opted in. So if you haven't ticked to join our newsletter, please do so, because that's kind of our way of communicating with you. And we never, ever share your information with anybody. And hopefully that has been good for you. I really, truly look forward to meeting you. Take care.